What's up, everyone? It's Shuffle, and this is the post-commentary, which I was hoping I would not have to do. But the audio screwed up really bad on... Not the audio, I've done this take like 4 times already. And I fucked that up every time, but it's the video. The Elgato actually had a failure on its part. So what ended up happening was... normally, when you record a video, it shows you the time. So, like, let's say, for example, you record... This is post-commentary, I'm pretty sure I said that. But, let's say you record for 10 minutes, and the timer says 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes, you click N. And so, when it does all its background stuff and makes a file, it's supposed to be 10 minutes. You know, that's what you hit. That's how long you recorded for. You have an audio file that accompanies it, where you talk, and it should do the same, or it should be the same, about, you know, a couple seconds off depending on that, but you sync it. And what ends up happening is they don't line up, right? So you have 10 minutes of audio, and you're supposed to have 10 minutes of video, but you have instead 9.5 minutes of video, which means that it got sped up somewhere. Like there was some kind of file mishap where it subtly got sped up, maybe like, 30 seconds from 10 minutes isn't 5%, but let's use that as an example. It got 5% sped up. It's not fast enough to where when you're watching, you won't really be able to tell. You know, because it's only a couple seconds where in this case, instead of 37 minutes, it was like 36 minutes. You know, so that's not, I think it was actually 35. But to be sped up in that regard isn't that noticeable just by watching a couple seconds. And so it's more like, to give you the example, you know, I do my audio sync to where my commentary matches up with the video, and the first about 5 minutes of the video are fine. You know, it sounds okay, and then at about 5 minutes it sounds like something's off, and then you get to about 10 minutes and it's noticeably off. I think my red flag was, even though this is only about 2.5 minutes in, this is where I started noticing it was off already. And I played with it, I tried to adjust it, and it's weird, it doesn't feel like it's uniform in how, I was going to say uniformly, but I don't know if that's a word, but it's not uniform in how it's disjointed. So it feels like maybe at one part it's normal, and then another part it's not. And the only way to really fix it would be to meticulously go through everything. You know, like I usually, I go through everything once, obviously, sometimes twice if I need to, but to do that, because I've done it before, to fix that when it's that bad takes like hours. It would take me maybe 2 or 3 hours to fix all that. And you can call me lazy, I guess, if you want, but I felt that this was an opportunity, I guess, to just save some time in that regard. I already spent a couple hours trying to fix it, and I couldn't. I'd have to spend a few more, and I'd have to be very meticulous in adjusting every single thing, and it wouldn't be perfect either. My voice almost cracked there. It wouldn't be perfect either. There'd be spots where it would be, it would just be like a half second off or something. I don't know. So I'm just making excuses, but let's see. Doing something at the same time. Yeah, so I have to go through this again. I don't want to. Being lazy. Anyway, so let's talk about the game. This was pretty hard, and it was. I think I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm doing something else at the same time. So, all right, I'm done with that. I'm done. So yeah. It was pretty difficult to do this minigame. Like, the aiming's pretty sensitive, and I tried a couple times, and that's what a bulk of the episode is. Each run's about 3.5 minutes. The second one, I'm not going to spoil it. I miss it by single digits. Oh, this is it. Okay, this is the last run. And it took a little bit to learn how to even do like the somersault and hit those. But, yeah, so we end here. And you're supposed to get 500 points. I get fucking 497. And at this point I went, you know what, it's already been about 15 minutes recorded. A little less, about 12. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going through with it. I wasn't salty or anything, but I didn't want to spend the entire episode doing that because it felt pretty close. I might not even be able to get it, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so we decided to leave that alone. And then go off and do some other stuff. It's always interesting doing post-commentary. I've had to do it a few times, but I always... It always feels like I'm seeing it again for the first time, even though I have a vague inkling of doing it. So I remember some of the major points, but there's some specifics here and there that you forget. So I think... Yeah, okay, so I think I decided to go to a different spot, because I said I wanted to go to the mine. And then I went to the mine, and then I ended up coming back here. So... we're going back to that. Because we have some other stuff we can do in the mine. Gotta do some searching. Gotta find out how to get some of those other jiggies. At some point, obviously, we want to do some new worlds and shit like that. I'm trying to make as few mistakes in my speech, so I don't have to do that much editing when I get back in there, but I already have to edit again. Oh, because I have to keep clearing my throat and shit, because, oh, I'm sick. I have, like, the sniffles, that's it, but it's pretty obnoxious. And I looked it up. There's something to chronic throat clearing. I guess it's an actual thing. And I think I just don't have enough water in me. But the other is everything boils down to the same thing in terms of my health issues. Is is, you know, like the heartburn, and like I have a dental issue that I'm frustrated about because I've seen 3 different dentists and I can't get any of them to agree on what the problem is or how to fix it. And I could go off on a fucking rant in the immortal words of Dennis Miller. I don't want to get off on a rant here, but I used to watch Dennis Miller with my grandma. Like, he had a show on HBO and I was, I think, like 14 or something. I used to watch it because I'd stay the night at her house because my cousin lived there. Also, they had a weird living situation. But I liked living with... Not living. I liked staying there because I'd play video games with my cousin. My cousin was like 19 or something. He had his own job. And my grandma... So, I'd stay there when I had time off from school and shit. And so I'd stay up and play games with my cousin. And then my cousin would wake up and go to work. And then, you know, I would be hanging out with my grandma. And my grandma would fucking cook me breakfast and spoil me and shit like that. So it was a cool time. Yeah, so we'd watch Dennis Miller sometimes. I don't remember if he was funny or not, but I remember some of that shit. But anyway, the rant I could get off on is the... What is it? The health situation, the healthcare and shit like that. It's just... It's annoying because... it always feels like doctors and shit, and dentists, I consider dentists doctors, right? They have the title and they're just a specialized doctor. But, everyone always tries to prescribe treatments, but not cures. And I remember one of the dentists who, like I said, 2 of the 3 dentists that I went to, 2 of them didn't even acknowledge. I wonder if I have to shoot the door now that I'm looking at it. I don't think so. I have to do something that lights the TNT. It's probably, whatever. So I still couldn't figure this out. But the 2 dentists that said I don't even have an issue, they're like, oh, nope, nothing wrong. I obviously know something's wrong because, you know, I'm living with myself the entire time, 24/7. So I know there's something wrong. And I saw a third dentist, and that dentist said, keep saying dentist instead of dentist. Dentist, right? Dentist. Oh my god. It's because I don't enunciate some of the letters when I talk. Like, I don't say desktop, I say desktop. Just because I'm lazy. It saves me time. And I also hate throwing in hard consonants in the middle of words like that. But that's besides the point, because I'm fucking weird. Yeah, the third dentist said that I had an issue. And she prescribed a electric toothbrush. It was a special one that only dentists get access to, which just sounded like an excuse to upcharge me. And then a couple other things to use with it, like a medicated toothpaste and something else to like some kind of oral topical gel thing. And so I'm using this shit, and it just, my issue is getting worse over time. So I go, okay, this obviously, like, it's, again, it's the thing I'm talking about. It's a treatment where it's like you're trying to fight, you're trying to fight it after the fact, which is obnoxious. And it's the kind of shit that I hate. I'd rather know what the issue is and how to tackle the issue instead of trying to fight what it's doing, right? Like, you're trying to combat symptoms instead of problems, where it's like, think, what would be an example? I'm trying to think of one that's a medical example, but the one I'm thinking about as some other kind of analogy would be like, if there's a fire going on, and instead of putting out the fire, you moved away all the stuff that's flammable. Does that make sense? Or it's like the fire's still there, but it's not gonna, you know, fires are gonna burn out over time or whatever, but usually, depending. I don't know. But you get what I mean, right? When I'm saying that? Where you're trying to prevent it from going further instead of just trying to eliminate it altogether. Together? My voice cracked. Jesus. I need water. Something. But yeah, so everything like snaps back to the same. This was a weird but pretty cool place to go through, the generator. I think I figured out I needed some kind of egg, probably the fire eggs, just because there was eggs next to it. And then you do this little platforming thing. This felt like Donkey Kong Country with the torchlight thing, torchlight cavern, or whatever it was. But it's been a while since I played that. Speaking of, AGDQ's on, which I've been watching here and there. I missed the Castlevania block, which is something I actually wanted to see pretty badly. So I'm a little sad about that, so I don't know what else is coming on. I tried to watch it a little bit last night, and they had some fucking DS surgery game called Under the Knife or whatever. And, oh, Vegas, don't do this to me. I hate when Vegas, like, starts chugging and screwing up when I'm doing this editing or whatever. Because I don't know if it's the issue with the footage or if it's the issue with Vegas. But usually it's the issue with the with Vegas because it's just doing some background shit and it's chugging along. So, like, it's just stuttering right now as I'm watching it. But, yeah, so I was talking about AGDQ, watching that, but my overall arching theme that I've taken 6 years to get to is I drink soda. I don't even drink that much. I drink like 2 cans in a day, which is still bad, right? I'm not going to pretend that's not fucking horrific for my health, but that's the only real big issue I have in terms of my diet. You know, sometimes I eat frozen food if I've got nothing else to make, because healthy food's actually expensive, but I don't, you know, camp out at McDonald's 3 times a week or any other fast food. I have fast food maybe once every couple weeks. Sometimes I get it when I'm going to D&D. That's about it. You know, I'll just swing through like Burger King, but otherwise I'm pretty good with my diet. And then soda's just the one outlier. And sometimes, like, I drink alcohol once a week. Like, when I go to D&D, it's always D&D. Like, I'll get fast, like, that's my worst day, right? I'll go to D&D. I think I wanted to split these two and use Kazooie for this part. I don't think I've done it yet. Yeah, because I'm just screwing around with it. But yeah, I wanted to put Kazooie on the Switch because it powers this up, and I wanted to run through there with Banjo because Banjo's easier to control and he has more hit points. But what ends up happening is Kazooie can't climb the fucking ladder to sit on the Switch. So you have to put Banjo up there and then run Kazooie down there. And we'll see how that goes in a second. But, yeah, so like, when I go to D&D, specifically Saturdays, I usually have fast food or something. And then I'll get there, and then one of the other guys there, who's pretty cool, he's role-playing Guts in our 5th edition campaign. See, this is me trying to get Kazooie up there and I can't. But, yeah, when I get over there, usually him and I have a couple beers. Sometimes he'll have something cool, or I'll swing through, like, the grocery store or a bottle shop or something. I'll try and find something cool to bring over there. You know, not just your normal run-of-the-mill shit. Sometimes we're kind of forced to do that. Sometimes I just grab, like, a Lagunitas or something. But if I can, I try and find something interesting. He does the same thing. Like, last time I was over there, he had, like, a double chocolate stout kind of thing. It was pretty good. I usually don't like straight stout, so I need it with something like chocolate or peanut butter or some other fun and exciting thing to make it more tolerable. You know, I'm that generic fucking IPA dude. No, I could talk about the beer adventures. Oh no, Kazooie, no! She struggled too, like, ah! With the flip-flaps. I think I realized that Banjo's not on the thing. I saw it, like, way too late. Yeah, when I first started out with beer and stuff like that, I just drank Blue Moon and shit. And then I moved on to other stuff, and I had a lot of interesting stuff over the last couple of years, because, you know, I know a couple people that are more well-versed in beer consumption than me. So they've introduced me to some really fun and cool stuff, but, like, right now IPAs are kind of the mainstay. But even then, there's a lot of variety in there. And, you know, long story short, I go over to play D&D, and that's usually my worst day. But it's crazy that just the couple sodas and the occasional alcohol, like, that just destroys. It's destroying my oral health, so to speak. And I think part of it too is I haven't had a dentist that addressed it early. I think it's just progressed to a point where it's starting to become really bad. And it honestly bugs me, because like, the 3 dentists that I'm seeing, or that I have seen, 2 of them, like I said, it didn't even acknowledge it as a problem. And then we take the shortcut back by dying. Which, just a funny theme as time goes on. The dying is actually advantageous in a lot of ways. Yeah, so, you know, I've had the 2 dentists that don't address it. They just don't even think it's a thing. And then I've had one dentist who was like, oh my god, it's a huge issue. But she tried to give me treatments instead of cures. Like, she didn't tell me what was causing it, which I'm pretty sure it's just the carbonated beverages. I think that's it. But I think at this point, if I just stopped, I don't think that would fix it either. I think I need something. And one of the people I play D&D with, well, this is my Pathfinder game, but I say D&D is like an encompassing term. His wife is going to school to be a dental hygienist. So the people that clean your teeth, clean your gums, that kind of stuff. Exactly what my issue is. She's almost done. She's almost graduated. And I finally talked to her about it. I've been self-conscious because, you know, I know her personally. I've known her for like 6 years. And, you know, I feel self-conscious. I feel embarrassed talking to her about it, but I finally did last week. I said, hey, you know, this is an issue, and it's becoming a bigger issue. And I told her the same thing I just told all of you about the dentist situation. She said, you know what? I can't tell you exactly what it is without seeing some x-rays or getting in there kind of thing. You know, without the controlled environment, the lab tools and all that. So she told me to either get my x-rays or to come into her college, because her college does like severely discounted dental work if you show up there. It's stupid. They lie to you. They say it's free, but they get your insurance information, and then they bill your insurance, and then when they bill your insurance, you have to do a copay. But like I said, it's all discounted. And people have been, you know, our friend circle that have gone in there, they've complained. It'll be like, oh, 2 months later, I got a fucking bill for like $80 or whatever. But I'm still probably gonna go in there. The only reason I haven't is because I live in like the Bay Area suburbs, and so does she. No, she lives in Oakland. But the college is in San Francisco, I think. And getting out to San Francisco is a pain in the fucking ass, dude. You either take the subway, which is about an hour, and it has to make stops, pick up people, drop off people, and it's just normally not an enjoyable experience anyway. Or you have to drive out there, and I gotta tell you, I don't know if you've driven in a big city, but big city driving, at least in San Francisco, is, I'd rather, I mean, we're talking about the dentist, I'd rather get my teeth drilled than do that shit. It's just obnoxious, because you have to, like, I can do it, you know, I've done it plenty of times, but I never enjoy it just because it's, well, I shouldn't say enjoy it, you know, is driving ever enjoyable? But it's specifically because parking's a fucking nightmare half the time, and most places that you can park your car charge you like $15 to $30 to park. It's a fucking scam because there's nowhere else to go, and sometimes it's valeted, and that is always like terrifying though. Like one of the places I parked in before was an underground garage. Like, I think it used to be an apartment complex, but the apartments got sold out for fucking stores and all that other bullshit. And I'm trying to get this piece in here. Like, I realized that I had them backwards. I'm trying to figure out how to drop one without having to put it in or whatever. And how much time do I have left? I've been talking for a minute. I got about 6 minutes, depending. Yeah, so about 5. Yeah, so they they converted this underground garage into a parking lot, right? Like a public parking lot that you have to pay for, and I paid like $20. And I don't know how they freaking do it, man. You know, like some really adept parking where they take your car from you, but it's almost like, you know, that sliding we continue the trend of celestial beams zapping a fucking door ferociously that just gently opens afterwards, which is pretty funny. The next one does it some justice. I think it like blows up or whatever, but yeah, so it's like a sliding block puzzle or whatever, where you have to make a picture or something, right? I think they're Chinese. They might be Chinese puzzles. I can't remember. But you know, you have one space open, and you have to slide everything and make it that way by sliding the one, by using your one open space. That's what they do with frickin' cars in that garage, where they have like one space open, and they like triple park the cars, right? So your car will be 3 cars deep, or well, it'll be behind 2 cars, where they have to move the other 2 to get yours out. And that's what my experience was. I'm sitting here going, how the fuck are they even gonna do this, you know? Where they only have like 1 or 2 spots open, they move every car into the way and then get my car out of there and move it that way. But you know, and you have to pay to go over the bridge and shit too to get into the city. So it's like, in most cases, you spend money on gas, which between traffic and all that and driving in town, it's like may as well be a full tank almost. And you have to pay to park. And then you have to pay to get over the bridge. And the subway's about $10, maybe 12 now. I haven't been on it for a bit, so I don't know if they raised the rates, but you know, it's easier to do it. It's cheaper. And you have to walk everywhere, but usually you can get where you want to go. But yeah, that's why I don't want to go out to her school, because I don't want to make the fucking trip out to San Francisco. But maybe I will. I'm kind of hoping that she finishes. I think she's like a year out from graduating. So maybe she'll graduate and then get in with an office that's a little closer. But she lives in Oakland, so it might not be that much closer. So maybe I should just go see her. Yeah, that's pretty obnoxious. Yeah, so in other news, I'm excited to do some streaming. And that's going to be... I'm set up for Friday. Immortal words like Zombieland or whatever, gearing up for Friday. I think I end with like some kind of rambling here. I have to see if I want to make some graphics, and I gotta get all the stream settings ready before I do it. But I'm looking forward to it. Gonna play some Darkest Dungeon. Have some fun. Hopefully have more than like just myself watching. But I mean, I fully expect that starting out. But last few times I've streamed, I've gotten up to like 10 people pretty quickly, which when you're starting out, it's pretty fucking good. But I don't know if it's gonna be the same anymore. But anyway, so I'm not just sitting here at this screen doing nothing because I have like a 5-minute conversation. I'm gonna cut here. So next time, hopefully not post commentary. So I should be able to, what is it, get everything working. That's part of the reason I want to make shorter videos, is so Elgato doesn't have a fucking conniption fit and die and screw up my recording. So anyway, sorry for the post commentary. Hope y'all enjoyed it for what it was. Next time, whatever's coming next, I haven't recorded the next one yet because I've been waiting on the computer and I gotta hook it up and shit like that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.